We'll start in a couple of minutes. Okay. So in our previous class, we have discussed about the various features of the cell. Okay, size of the cell, unicellular, multicellular, cell theory. All of this we have discussed. Now we'll be moving on to the next important feature of the cell, that is efficiency. Efficiency. So what is the meaning of efficiency? Can anyone guess? When we say an engine is 50% efficiency and another engine is 80% efficiency, what does it mean?
The other engine can work 30% more than the first engine.
Whether it can work 30% more is about more work done, or how can you tell? Is it about
More amount
quantity?
of work done in less time.
More amount in less time. You see, efficiency has something to do with for a given input, okay, of energy. Okay, you know that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can be only converted from one form to another. Correct?
Yes,
So,
sir.
suppose I want to convert kinetic energy into electrical energy. Hydroelectric dam. Kinetic energy of the flowing water has to be converted into electrical energy.
A
How
turbine is to be.
a turbine will be used? Will the 100% of the kinetic energy that is available will be converted into electrical energy?
No, sir. No, sir. Some
100%.
amount of energy will be wasted.
No, sir.
No, sir.
100% efficiency is not there in any system. Okay, there is always some part of that which will be lost in the form of heat or some other process. Okay, therefore never you get 100% efficiency. Efficiency means when you are trying to do some work, converting some form of energy into something else. What is the conversion? Is it how much energy you are putting is converted to equal amount of work? How much amount of it is getting converted? That is efficiency. Now here we are talking about efficiency of a cell, and the statement it says smallness of a cell greater the efficiency. So what you are seeing here, this image, there is a small cube, okay, larger cube and much larger cube. According to this statement, this cube A is most efficient and this C, number C, is least efficient. Why? The question is why? You see, for a larger cube, this is a number C is a large cube, and you look at the surface area, because for a cell efficiency, how we are going to know about the efficiency of the cell? Because a cell is a what we know independent unit. Okay, it is capable of its own existence, independent unit, building block of life. So if you take one cell, it has to also communicate with the environment for taking food material, okay, and for removing the waste material. It needs to communicate with its surroundings. A cell which is having more surface area, whether it will communicate better, or a cell that is having very less surface area will be able to exchange and communicate better?
Sir, who will have less surface area?
Hmm. Let us take one example. Human body is there, and we are constantly, our body, the skin is constantly communicating with the outside environment. Okay, if you want to, for example, you are going into the deep water. Okay, person is going in a deep water. A person who is going in deep water, he can sense that the pressure is increasing. Okay, sense the pressure is increasing. Okay, now let us, okay, forget about those examples, we will come more here directly only. Okay, now here small cell, okay, this is a cube which is a small cube, and to make this C number cube, how many A number cubes are required? This is 1 centimeter length, all sides equal cube. The second one is 2 centimeters and the third one is 3 centimeters. Okay, to make a 3 centimeter cube, how many 1 centimeter cubes are required?
27.
Hmm?
27.
9.
You see, you are getting 6 centimeter square of the surface area, or 1 centimeter cube of volume in one cube. So both we are looking at, that is the surface area and volume both, and then we will look at the ratio, surface area to volume ratio. Okay, that means for a given volume how much surface area is coming. If you take a small cube, for the given area you are getting for a given volume, for one volume you are getting 6 times the surface area, but for a 2 centimeter side of the cube, for one volume you are getting 3 times the surface area, and further if you are increasing the size of the cube, for one volume of that cube you are getting only 2 times of the surface area. So basically what is happening is, as the size of the cube is increasing, the surface area is becoming less, and if surface area is less, the amount of surface that is available for communication, exchange of the material from the outside, because cell has to take nutrients from outside, no? Okay, for example, blood cell is there, RBC is there, it is going around in the veins and arteries, it is going, So it has to take that oxygen and nutrients from the outside. Okay. So if there are two types of cells, okay, one RBC cell, that half of it is damaged, for example surface area, only half is available for exchange, then its efficiency will be less, no? More surface area means more it will be able to take the nutrients from outside, more efficiently it will function. So here what is happening is, when we are increasing the size of the cube, per unit volume the surface area becomes less. Okay, surface area to volume ratio, that becomes less. Okay, so as more surface area is available for the smaller cube, okay, sorry, the smaller cell has a larger surface area, it has a greater efficiency. So these 2 points you will keep in mind. One, the rapid communication between the intracellular components become possible, and there is an increase in the surface area to volume ratio for the better diffusion of the substances in and out of the cell. Okay. So if the surface area to volume ratio it is increasing, then better diffusion of substances can take place with the outside. Also the cell became small, so inside the cell also the communication will be fast, no? If it is a very big cell, okay, some message has to go from one place to another place, it will take long time, communication will be slow. Okay, so just that is a general idea about if the size of the cell is small, it has a greater efficiency. Okay, these are the two reasons. Any doubt you have, you want to clear? Okay, now the shape of the cells, okay, the shape of the cells are also very diverse. For example, RBC, okay, the RBC you can see how it looks like normal, like a flying disc, you know, some of you may be playing that frisbee or flying disc. Okay, it looks like that, something like a disc shape. Okay, and it is a biconcave structure, you can see inside there is a depression. Okay, depression or the curvature is towards the inside, biconcave structure. So RBC is a circular biconcave structure. If you take WBC, among all these RBCs you can see in between these fellows, they are looking something like amoeba. Okay, they don't have any specific shape, simply they will be moving like this, you know. So WBC is that kind of structure, the cell is like that. Nerve cells are generally very long, okay, long tube like structure. Muscle cells, they have this kind of constrictions, okay, cylindrical structure, they can contract and expand. And in the leaves we have the guard cells. Okay, in the leaves there are the guard cells. The guard cells their function is, okay, to help the water evaporation, whatever is taking place, that is called transpiration. So this will open, for example here you can see this one is a bit open, whereas this one is a bit closed. Okay, they are like bean kind of a structure, bean shaped. So in this way there is a lot of diversity. Okay, cells are of different shapes. These are a few common shapes that you should be aware of. Okay, those were discussed. Next.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So in muscle cells, there it is written long and contractile. What is the meaning of contractile?
The ability to contract. Okay, for example, the muscles, the fibers, they will slide on each other like this and they will contract. Overall they will contract, and that is why you are able to move your arms or your legs and all. The muscles are able to move. Okay, so that contraction is taking place, that is why it is called as contractile. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, what is phagocytosis?
Phagocytosis means phago. Phago means eating. Okay. Cytosis, eating the cells. Okay. So WBC, it will directly eat any RBC, any bacteria will enter into the blood. The phagocytes will, the WBC, they will come and they will directly, they will eat it. Okay. They will be moving like this, octopus or something like this, they will be moving totally. Okay. And they will surround that bacteria, they will engulf it, and as it is whole, okay, it's not that they are going to break it or something, directly they will consume it. Okay. So that is called a phagocytosis. Without breaking it, directly whole they will eat it, and
Thank you, sir.
they will digest it once they have eaten. Next part of this chapter is with the cell organelles, prokaryotes, eukaryotes, plant cells and animal cells. Till now we have discussed about cells. Okay, different aspects of cells, size, okay, shape, whatever different aspects, efficiency, all these things we studied. But within the cell, is there something present? Cell is the building block of life. Okay, just like in chemistry we say, no, atoms. Atom is the fundamental particle, but atom is the indivisible particle. Earlier everyone used to say that only. Atom is indivisible, that is the basic unit. But actually if you go inside, again you will find electrons are there, protons are there, like that only cells. These are also building blocks. But if you look inside the cell, you will find that there are small, just like in human body there are organs, like that only inside the cell also there are some small organs. Because they are so tiny, we don't say these as organs, we say that organelle. Okay, some people pronounce organelli or something like that. Okay, you can say organelle. Okay, organelle, cell organelle. So what are cell organelle? These are very small structures which are present inside the cell. Okay, this part of your syllabus of class 9 is extremely important. Okay, 5 stars, because even for your class 10, if you don't understand this, then in class 10 your life will be miserable. Okay, some chapters they will repeat, some chapters will be there only in class 9. Okay, this is a very fundamental chapter, basic biology fundamental chapter. This one is going to repeat in class 10 also. If you don't understand, if you don't revise, if you don't practice this part, then in class 10 also you will find very difficult to understand. Okay, so we will be spending some time on this. Okay, sufficient time we will be giving. If you don't understand, you will always free to ask questions. Okay, so now we are moving to second part, that is cell organelles. What are prokaryotes? What are eukaryotes? These are different types of cells. And within eukaryotes, there are the plant cells and animal cells. Okay, let's see. First, we will see what is the definition of organelle. Organelle are little organs, okay, specialized subunits usually within a cell with a specific function. Okay, so they are specialized subunits. If cell is a unit of life, cell organelle is a subunit. Okay, specialized subunit. It is usually within a cell with a specific function. There are the two types of organelles are there. Okay, one is the membrane bound organelles and other is the non membrane bound organelles. What is the meaning of membrane? You have heard
Boundary.
about
That
boundary.
allows only selective materials to pass.
Okay, that is a semi-permeable membrane. In class 8, you have studied about osmosis.
Yes, sir.
So, in osmosis, there was a semi-permeable membrane. So, the membrane can be of a different nature. Freely permeable membrane, impermeable membrane, semi-permeable membrane, okay, selectively permeable membrane. There are many types of membranes are there, but a membrane means what? Membrane means something that is a very thin, okay, thin layer, very thin layer. So the cell, it is surrounded by a very thin layer that is called the plasma membrane. We will see. And the same way inside the cell also, these organelles, okay, some of these organelles, they are also having membrane around them. What is this membrane made up of? Lipid bilayer. It is made up of
Lipoprotein.
lipoproteins, you can say. But here, what is lipid?
Fluid.
Lipid means it includes both fats and oils. Okay. Oils. Oils are liquid at room temperature. Fats are solid at room temperature. Some of the oils we commonly use, for example, mustard oil, groundnut oil, coconut oil. Okay, these are all liquid at room temperature. Okay, winter season I am not talking, normal room temperature. But fats, for example, ghee, dalda, at room temperature also they will be solid. They are called fats. Okay, oils are liquid at room temperature. Together, these fats and oils, they come in one group. Okay, they are called the lipids. Okay. So the membrane, what it is made up of? It is made up of lipids. And what we are telling, bilayer. One layer, one more layer becomes bilayer. So lipid bilayer. So generally the cell, how it will be, suppose it will have the two layers of the lipids around it. Okay, and inside some different structures will be there. Okay. Maybe still little bit imagination problem is coming, but we will cover. Non-membrane bound organelles. That means they are not, okay, they are without a surrounding lipid bilayer. They don't have any lipid bilayer. Okay. Now let us see the three types of typical cells that are there in your syllabus. Okay. In your syllabus, there are the discussed three types of cells. One is a bacterial cell, plant cell, animal cell. The bacterial cells are also known as prokaryotes. This term is extremely important. In biology, it will keep on repeating. Okay, you have to put it, fix it in your mind. Eukaryote, prokaryote. Okay, prokaryote. Pro means primitive, old. Okay. Old generation types. Prokaryote. Karyote. Here karyotic means what? Nucleus. Okay, nucleus. What is nucleus? Okay, all these things we will be seeing in our next class. Okay, today what you are seeing here, prokaryote, eukaryote. Eukaryote means true nucleus. Okay, true nucleus. So inside the cell there will be this kind of structure inside which DNA will be there. DNA is there inside this nucleus. Okay. In this particular chapter, there will be many new terms are coming. Okay, new terms will be coming. All terms are important. Everything is very important in this chapter. Okay. So from your side, please study the textbook also, follow the lecture also, and revise. Try to solve end of the chapter questions. Okay. In the next class, we will see more details of the what is the difference between the prokaryotes and the eukaryotes. Any doubts you have in today's class, you can ask.
Sir, may you please say the syllabus?
Okay. I think in the first class itself I have told, but I am repeating once again, and I think it has been given in your portal also. Okay, let me write here. First term, okay, chapters 1, from chapter 1 to 10. Okay, this is nutrition.